All right, here we go. 919. The Nurses' Health Study interviewed a sample of more than 100,000 female nurses every 2 years. The study found that light to moderate drinkers had a lower risk of death than either non drinkers or heavy drinkers. What is this? The two questions you want to ask, well, the one question is actually, was a treatment imposed? The other question I was getting at is in an observational study, you're just observing something. So if a treatment was imposed, that's an indicator that it's an experiment. And if you're simply just observing something and then recording what you've observed, that's an observational study. So in this case, they are simply observing registered nurses. They interviewed them, so they're observing them, they're collecting the data. And they noticed that, oh, there's a lower risk of death for light to moderate drinkers than there were for heavy drinkers. So this would be an observational study. What electrical changes occur in muscles as they get tired? Student subjects hold their arms above their shoulders until they have to drop them. Meanwhile, the electrical activity is measured. So we're trying to find out if getting tired changes the electrical activity. So we're imposing a treatment, and the treatment is holding their arms above their shoulders. Okay, and so this is some sort of an experiment. So the question is, what kind of an experiment are we dealing with here? Do we have would this be considered a randomized comparative experiment? In other words, are we randomly assigning people to treatments? We have the one treatment that they're holding their arms up. What about people that aren't holding their arms up in the same period of time? Could there be some other reason that maybe their electrical activity is changing or anything like that? We're not comparing it to anything. So this is not a randomized comparative experiment, but this is some sort of an uncontrolled experiment. You're really just looking at data that you're collecting, but you're not comparing it to anything. Okay, 21. Can changing diet reduce high blood pressure? Vegetarian diets and low salt diets are both promising. Men with high blood pressure are assigned at random to 4 diets. We got these 4 diets listed here. 4 different combinations of vegetarian and salt and those sorts of things. This experiment has 4 factors, the 4 diets being compared. Okay. In an experiment in the previous exercise, 240 subjects are labeled 01 to 240, and you assign 60 to diet 1, 60 to diet 2, and so forth. What kind of design is this? This is a completely randomized design because we're randomly assigning the subjects to the treatments. And 23, an important response variable to this experiment would be, well, we're trying to see, does changing diet reduce high blood pressure? So the response variable would be, what's the change in blood pressure at the end of the diet period? All right, let's go with that one on this one.